Good afternoon and welcome to today's CERIAS Information Security Seminar from Purdue University. Our speaker today is Jeremy Rasmussen. Mr. Rasmussen is the Manager of Information Security Solutions for Sypris Electronics. Mr. Rasmussen has worked at a number of large engineering and defense industry companies and is currently the manager of their information security solutions at Sypris, who specializes in vulnerability assessments, pen testing, policy and procedure development, and security training. Mr. Rasmussen is also an adjunct faculty member at the University of South Florida. Please welcome Mr. Rasmussen.
Thank you. So today's talk is the best defense is information. Kind of lifted this from a guy named H.D. Moore who runs the Metasploit project, because the idea is going to be the more information you have in dealing with a security breach or in being able to prevent against one, the better off you're going to be. And we don't necessarily have all of the infrastructure in place for doing that at this time, but it's something that I know a lot of people are working on. So there's us, Sypris Electronics. We've been in business for about 40 or more years, doing some little black boxes for the government that do secure communications and so forth. And then out of that background of information assurance, we built up a security consulting group, which, as Joel said, does some pen testing as well as automating tools to scripts and applications and so forth to help us do what we do better in a more efficient and accurate manner. And so we've done things little tactical system in the back of a Humvee, the rack of Cisco routers and Windows servers that run in the back of a shelter in a Humvee, all the way up to a 350,000 user wide area network across all 54 states and territories. So we've had some experience getting our hands dirty doing a lot of different types of systems. One of the things we're really trying to find our niche in is the Presidential Comprehensive National Cybersecurity Initiative, or CNCI. As you can see there, the main thrusts of that are to establish front lines of defense capabilities for our federal enterprise. So making sure there's not a million ways in and out, but more controlled ingress and egress to the federal enterprise network, defending against a full spectrum of different cyber threats. Coming up with new leap-ahead technologies to shape research and education, defining the technologies that are going to help better protect our nation's infrastructure, and then developing tools to enable this all to happen. So to the tune of what we understand is about $17 or $18 billion are being allocated to this in the federal government. So this is certainly an area of for research and development and for companies to get involved and really start moving into some new areas. So there's me. As Joel already said, I have a background in software and systems engineering and computer science background in engineering management, and I teach some classes in cryptography and network security, digital forensics, and hacking. And then I started a group a few years ago called the White Hatters. You might check out our website there. It's an organization at the University of South Florida that is there to really learn more about computer security and to participate in organized capture the flag events. You might be wondering about that picture there. So I had an opportunity a year or so ago to be on Jeopardy, and they actually had a makeup person that came and dressed you up and everything. Here, you guys are on this strict budget. I know I don't look as good as I do, but I actually had a chance, after the first commercial break, when Alex comes over and talks to you about, hey, you have to come up with some anecdote about something. They asked me about something, and I said the thing I talked about was capture the flag. So I have a little clip here that shows that, and actually shows you a little bit more too.
Welcome back. Jerry Rasmussen is from Lutz, Florida. Good news for you. Well, good news of a sort, I suppose. Our researchers did some checking on your response of hooves a little while ago in that awful French food category. And by golly, there are some recipes which use the actual hooves.
Yes, it's delicious.
So you're getting $1,600, and I'm not sure I ever want to go out to dinner with you. However, tell me about something else. You competed in a world championship in hacking. Are you a horse rider?
Not that type of hacking, Alex.
Oh, what?
We have a group. We're computer security experts, and we got together a group at the University of South Florida, and we do organize capture the flag events where you have vulnerable systems and you try to get their flags and you try to protect your flag from them. So the largest contest in the world is DEF CON out at Las Vegas every year, and our goal is to be the best in the world someday at that.
We're not the best in the world right now?
Well, our team isn't yet, but somebody is.
I hope an American team is the best in the world to
I think the reigning
us.
champions are American.
Okay,
Yes.
well, that's good news.
Cutting to the end, the best part in my opinion. Pro football, and I was playing against two women.
Gene
So
McGuire.
it's
We start with you. Your response. Who are the Dallas Cowboys? Sorry, incorrect. 7,000. You risked everything, so that drops you down to 0. Let's go to Julie now, our champion. She's won $73,000 prior today. She picked the Cowboys also, and that will cost her how much? Oh, hello, nothing. So you remain at an even 14,000, so it's up to Jeremy to be correct. Is he? He picked the Buffalo Bills. Were you thinking of Buffalo Bill Cody?
Yes, I was.
You were? Well, good for you, because that's right. How much did you risk? 9801. Hello. Big win. $28,001. You're the champ. You get to come back next week. Enjoy the weekend. You too, folks. Take care. So long.
All right, so anyways, I got to mention Capture the Flag on national TV, so that was, my 15 minutes of fame. If you've never played Capture Flag, yes, ma'am.
Can I ask how much you won on Jeopardy?
So I won that day, and then I lost the next day. So a total of about $31,000. So it was
Congratulations.
fun. Thank you. It was great until the tax bill came due. That was really bad. So Capture the Flag is this multi-sided contest where a number of teams compete individually against each other. A popular way to do it is basically every team is given an image of a vulnerable system. By vulnerable, I mean it's like Linux or something, and it has a bunch of intentionally broken services that have vulnerabilities on them. So you have to figure out what those are, fix them, patch them on your system so that nobody else can exploit them, and then actively go out and exploit those on everybody else's servers. And that's how you gain points. So flag is essentially like a base 64 encoded string or something, or some kind of hash. And by exploiting the service, you're able to read this that you would not otherwise be able to get. And then you submit it to some scoring server. So as I mentioned there, like the coolest one, the biggest one every year is this DEF CON Capture the Flag out in Vegas. And I just have a little quote from a guy's blog. His name's Atlas, who they won 2 years in a row, 2006 and 2007. He says, "From the moment I walked into this access-controlled room, I felt like I was walking to a high-intensity playground/dance club. Dim lights, techno thrash music, black-green color scheme, the blue siren, all contributed to the feeling of greatness." So this doesn't sound like, what we're used to in the academic environment here, right? Stayed in the back of a lab, typing away on some computer. They purposely make Capture the Flag. They try to put diversions in there, things to distract you to make it even harder. It's diabolical enough already, but it's interesting that Atlas and his crew won a couple of years in a row, but they got absolutely clobbered last year by another group, which is the School of Root, and a guy by the name of Chris Eagle and his friends out at the Naval Postgraduate School at Monterey. They actually have a really good team out there, and it says, this is Atlas writing, it says, "We used some technical prowess last year to keep School of Root from getting credit for a lot of points over periods of several hours. So they figured out a way to block their flag submission. This year, School both multiplied the evil as well as the technical awe of our attack from last year, instead denying any of the teams the ability to score. How they did this, I still can't say specifically, but let's just say they pwned the services themselves and made their own version of a service rootkit, modifying information to either prevent us from gaining a shell on any box or changing the contents of keys so that we receive bogus keys as well as overwrites, etc., etc." So they hacked the scoring system itself. It reminds me of like in Star Trek when Kirk hacked the Kobayashi Maru so he could pass. He was the only one that ever did that. So we're not thinking about, we're thinking of genius level people here that have amazing computer security skills. Our team's done pretty well actually since we began 3 or 4 years ago.